Hello and welcome to the Nissan Fairlady Z432. Now this is a 1969 model, and no matter where you are from in the world, you probably know this vehicle. Whether you know this car because of its many years of racing, or if you just know it because of its impact on the JDM car community, this car has been a staple in their community for tuning since this vehicle came out. The Fairlady was often seen as the perfect platform. The car is extremely lightweight and could handle its power. And the car's power was produced by a 2-liter straight 6. This was actually the same straight 6 that came out of the Nissan Skyline Hakosuka. Now that car is honestly even more iconic than the Fairlady in my opinion, and it was incredibly fast. So to share their power point with this vehicle just made the Fairlady even better. Now the Fairlady, compared to modern day standards, is not fast at all. Back in its prime, yes, this car was incredibly powerful and just was unstoppable. They were so fast, in fact, that the Japanese police force actually used some of them as their high-speed units. Now when you do jump behind the wheel of the Nissan Fairlady Z, you will be greeted by some questionable handling. The vehicle has extremely soft suspension, which leads to a lot of body roll, and that is actually perfect for the amount of power it has, because with that amount of body roll and sway in the suspension, it allows the car to step out and just be more exciting to drive. Because if it had any harder suspension, yes, it would be better in cornering. But now if you absolutely love the looks and styling of the Fairlady, but you just don't use it because of how slow it is, even if you do fully upgrade the standard engine, well, it just simply does not give that much performance. Well, you're in luck, because with update 1.31 to Gran Turismo 7, this car can now be engine swapped. Now, it's not one of the biggest engines, it's not an RB26, we really needed engine swap in the game. It's still an iconic Nissan engine. This car can be swapped with an SR20 out of the Nissan Silvia S15. Now if we look at the difference between the standard engine to the new SR20, we can see there is quite an improvement. With the new engine going into the car, we see that the car actually loses 33 kgs and gains almost 100 horsepower, which in a vehicle that already produces 157, that's almost doubling the power. So this should actually have a very big impact on how the Nissan actually performs overall. Now when we head back out onto circuit, we are greeted with the change in engine note. Now this was obviously a given since we changed the engine, but what wasn't expected was how much the improvement of acceleration there was actually gonna be. Now the car's acceleration was not the only thing to actually see a difference. The way the car actually climbs speed has been changed drastically. It is so much faster compared to the standard S20 engine. However, the problem with upgrading your power and not changing your suspension is that the car handles horrifically. Now the suspension was already jelly with the S20 engine in it, and we knew, okay, that was really pushing the limits of what the suspension could handle. Now with the added 100 horsepower, the car understeers, the car oversteers, there's so much body roll, the car is really just all over the place. And it actually is able to just light up the rear wheels. Now the tire compound that the car is currently on is comfort mediums, and as you know, if you chuck high power at those tires, they cannot handle it. You are gonna experience understeer, oversteer, and you're gonna experience them both at the same time. It's not gonna be an enjoyable experience unless you're just trying to get the vehicle to slide, and if that is so, well, this car is absolutely perfect for you. But after basically struggling to get this car around and set a fast time, I thought, you know what, let's stop wasting our time with having a car on standard suspension. No one's gonna actually do this, so let's just head on over to the tuning shop. Now if you're thinking of fully upgrading your SR20 engine, be ready to pay roughly 200,000 credits, because that's how much it's gonna cost to fully upgrade this engine. Now when it comes to the actual parts you can put on, there isn't anything that really restricts you or that you can't put on besides a supercharger. But if you are prepared to spend a whole lot of money, you can really overhaul the performance of this SR20. Now after fully upgrading the SR20, you're gonna be left with 515 brake horsepower, which is double the standard power of the SR20 and more than triple the power of the standard engine that the Fairlady comes with. And also, if there wasn't enough, you can also reduce the weight of the Fairlady, bringing it down from 1700 to just over 800 kgs. So yes, this car is going to be a real force to be reckoned with once we take it back out onto track. Since we updated the performance, it's only right we update the looks, and I didn't find a more fitting livery than the BRE race car. This is a beautiful livery. On screen now is all the hashtags and things that you need to actually find it. So if you like the livery, well, here it is. Now once you get behind the wheel of the fully upgraded SR20 powered Fairlady, you begin to notice that this is nothing like the standard vehicle. It is almost a brand new vehicle, and it honestly handles like a modern day sports car. The way the car handles now, it can compete with the 400Z, the 400 concept, whatever you want to call it. This can compete with that vehicle, and I actually love that. I love that this car isn't completely overpowered. The car doesn't break traction every time you accelerate. The car is incredibly controllable, and the way it just lays out its power is so smooth that it's a really enjoyable experience. Now even when it comes to handling, there's no understeer. Yes, the car can still slide out, but that's the fun of it. You have no traction on, you can get the vehicle to slide, but you can still be in control of it. You aren't fighting for your life at any time while behind the wheel of this car. It is, as I said, an enjoyable experience. It's a fun time to have, and in my eyes, this is almost the perfect engine swap. I actually don't know what I could do to make it any better. Now hear me out. This is not going to be the fastest engine swap. It's not going to be the most fuel efficient. It's not going to be the most overpowered engine swap. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be that. But this is still a good engine swap. If you are, or if you do get the chance to engine swap this vehicle, I say take it 100%, because you can actually engine swap the SR20 also into the S13. So it's honestly your own preference. Personally, I would go with swapping it into this Fairlady, just because looks wise I prefer the Fairlady. But if you prefer putting it into S13, well, it's up to you. But as I said, this is the perfect engine swap in my eyes, because of just how it puts down its power and the way the car actually performs. As I said, it's not going to be the fastest engine swap, it's not going to be the most insane engine swap, but it is still an incredibly good engine swap. So if you get the chance, try it out. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and if you want to know what other new engine swaps were added with Gran Turismo 7 update 1.31, watch the video on screen right now, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.